Okay folks, buckle up, because tonight on the Mysteria archive, we're diving into the strangest glitch in modern memory, the Mandela Effect. Are we just remembering wrong, or is reality quietly rewriting itself? Get ready for a wild ride. Reality just blinked. Imagine this. You're scrolling through old photos, and something feels off. The Statue of Liberty, missing from Liberty Island. You swear it was there. You remember it being there. But somehow it isn't. Or maybe it's that famous childhood book, The Berenstain Bears, except now it's spelled Berenstain, not Berenstein. Millions remember it differently. Millions are wrong. Or are they? We call it the Mandela Effect, a glitch in the collective memory, named after countless people who remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, even though he didn't. But what if these aren't mistakes in memory? What if they're fingerprints? Proof that the universe is adjusting itself. That every so often, reality doesn't just change, it recalibrates. Maybe we're not misremembering. Maybe we're noticing. Because what happens when billions of observers, all connected through screens and signals, start looking at reality at the same time? What if that much observation, that much attention, makes the system flicker? Tonight, we're diving into the quantum shadow behind the Mandela Effect, a story about memory, consciousness, and the moment the universe forgets what it's supposed to be. Okay, so full disclosure, I checked my childhood books after writing that, and yeah, Berenstain still looks wrong. Like my brain refuses to update the firmware. But that's what makes this whole thing fascinating. The Mandela Effect isn't just people misremembering cereal boxes, it's a massive shared confusion. Something that feels organized. And if the universe is a kind of quantum program, maybe these mistakes aren't bugs, they are features. Though, if that's true, I'm filing a ticket with Cosmic Tech support, because this patch, not great. The familiar glitch. Let's start with the basics. The Mandela Effect describes collective false memories, moments where large groups of people vividly recall events that never happened. Maybe you remember Luke, I am your father from Star Wars, except the line is actually, no, I am your father. Or maybe you remember the Monopoly man with a monocle. He never had one. For some reason, millions of us remember these things exactly the same way, but wrong. Psychologists call it confabulation, the brain's way of filling gaps. But the scale of this effect challenges that. It's not one or two people mixing up details, it's global, coordinated. Like memory itself got a firmware update while we were asleep. And maybe these aren't random errors at all. Maybe these are quantum side effects, consciousness catching the universe mid-calculation. Because here's the weird part. Memory doesn't exist in isolation. It's stored in networks of atoms, electrons, and synapses, all governed by quantum behavior. And in quantum physics, reality only solidifies when it's observed. So, what happens when billions of people are observing, recording, and comparing reality in real time, every second of every day? Maybe we're witnessing reality's debugging process, a world adjusting itself, one false memory at a time. You ever think about how creepy that is? Like, we used to just trust our memories. Now, every time I remember something, I have to Google it first, just to make sure I didn't slip timelines over lunch. But that's the thing, we're all doing it at once. Billions of us staring at these same digital mirrors, noticing tiny cracks in the reflection. And maybe it's not that our memories are failing, maybe reality's Wi-Fi just hiccuped. Either way, I want a refund on whatever update caused this, because my Monopoly guy definitely had a monocle. The Observer's Paradox. In quantum mechanics, there's a rule that bends reality itself. The act of observing changes the thing being observed. Physicists call it the observer effect. On a quantum scale, particles don't exist in one place until someone or something looks at them. Before that, they exist as probabilities, floating between all possible outcomes. Now, imagine billions of observers, all focused through the lens of the internet, all measuring reality together. Every meme, every viral debate, every argument about whether it was Berenstain or Berenstein, that's a level of observation the universe has never faced before. Could it be that mass attention itself, billions of conscious measurements, has begun to destabilize the quantum field? Tiny, imperceptible adjustments rippling outward until they reach us as cultural phenomena. Because human memory isn't static either. Every time we recall something, the act of remembering changes the memory. So if the universe is rewriting itself, and our memories are rewriting themselves too, what chance do we have of knowing which version is real? Maybe the Mandela Effect isn't just the brain's glitch. Maybe it's the moment where human consciousness and quantum reality overlap. A tug of war between what we remember and what the universe decides actually happened. And if that's true, then reality might not be breaking. It might just be watching us, watching it. Okay, so here's a thought that'll ruin your next coffee break. If observing reality changes it, then every TikTok video might technically be a quantum experiment. Billions of us staring into the digital void, and the void updating its firmware just to keep up. The observer's paradox basically means that the universe behaves differently when we pay attention. So, maybe the Mandela Effect isn't about false memories, it's about feedback. And if reality is reacting to us, then we're all part of the world's biggest science project. Which is fine, I guess, as long as no one unplugs the simulation mid-scroll. The quantum mirror. Here's where things start to bend. Some physicists and philosophers believe consciousness doesn't just observe the universe, it participates in building it. And if that's true, then reality isn't a movie we watch, it's a mirror that responds to our gaze. Now, take that mirror and imagine it fracturing into 1,000 slightly different reflections. Each reflection represents a version of the universe where one detail, a logo, a memory, a word, landed differently. When enough people focus on one reflection, consciousness synchronizes with that version. But some people don't. They stay tuned to the previous one. That's the Mandela Effect, not a glitch, a glimpse. The universe showing us the interference pattern of overlapping realities. It's like walking through a hall of mirrors, where every reflection moves a fraction of a second before you do. You're seeing the shadow of a decision, an old timeline fading out, while the new one stabilizes. And maybe that's why these false memories feel so right, because somewhere in the quantum mirror, they were right. As one theorist put it, every false memory might be a true observation from a slightly different version of the same world. If consciousness and reality are entangled, then every Mandela Effect is the universe whispering, "I remember that too." Yeah, okay, that quote hits a little too hard. Every false memory might be a true observation. Translation, my brain's right, just not in this universe. Cool, totally fine. But think about it. If consciousness and reality really are linked, then the Mandela Effect isn't random, it's personal. It's the universe doing improv with our collective memories. One world forgets, another world remembers, and we're stuck in the cosmic middle. I guess it's comforting though. If reality is a mirror, at least it's polite enough to remember our reflection, even if it gets the details wrong. Quantum memory drift. Picture this. You wake up one morning and something feels off. Your favorite logo looks wrong. A movie line sounds different. A color seems muted. You assume it's your imagination until someone else notices it too, then another, then thousands. It's as if the entire world silently agreed to change, except you. Scientists studying memory call this reconsolidation. Every time we recall a memory, our brain rebuilds it from scratch, slightly altering the details. But what if memory isn't purely biological? Now, some quantum theorists suggest that memory could be a wave function, collapsing differently in each observer's brain, depending on their consciousness. But that means every person's reality could be slightly offset, drifting like radio signals out of sync. When the universe updates, stabilizing its quantum field, most minds adapt instantly. But a few remain entangled with the old version. Those are the witnesses, the ones who feel the slide. They are not delusional. They are desynchronized. Their consciousness is still tuned to the last broadcast, a frequency the rest of the world has already moved on from. And that's what makes the Mandela Effect so eerie, because it's not about who's right or wrong, it's about who stayed behind. So basically, some of us are still buffering. Well, that's comforting, just existing half a frame behind reality. But seriously, this quantum drift idea is wild. It suggests memory might not just live in our heads, it could be part of a shared quantum field. Most people update automatically, like hitting refresh on a cosmic browser. But others? They're still on the previous tab of the universe, which honestly explains a lot of my Mondays. Now, maybe when we argue about Berenstain bears, we're not debating memories, we're syncing timelines. And man, some Wi-Fi signals are stronger than others. Entanglement across minds. Here's the strangest part. If memory is personal, why do so many people remember the same wrong thing? The same logo, the same line, the same map? Quantum entanglement might hold the clue. When two particles become entangled, what happens to one instantly affects the other, even across vast distances. Now, imagine that scaled up to consciousness. Shared attention, millions of minds focusing on the same cultural moment, could entangle those observers. Think of the night the world first saw the Star Wars reveal, or the moment millions watched Mandela's release from prison. Our attention locked together, synchronized through emotion and focus. In that instant, we weren't just watching, we were linked. And if a timeline shift occurred, those entangled observers might experience it together, their shared memory becoming a fragment of an older version of the universe, preserved by collective awareness. It's why so many Mandela effects feel communal. It's not one mind misfiring, it's millions echoing the same quantum imprint. The idea isn't proof, of course. It's philosophy meeting physics and a crowded thought experiment. But the pattern keeps repeating. Shared emotion, shared event, shared distortion. Maybe we don't just shape reality as individuals. Maybe we do it as a network, consciousness entangled across time, space, and memory. So, according to this, humanity might be one giant group chat, except instead of gossip, we're syncing timelines. Which, yeah, that tracks. The theory is pretty poetic, really. It suggests that collective attention might actually glue our realities together. That's why these Mandela effects feel so oddly specific. It's like a psychic conference call that accidentally left one person muted in another dimension. And if entanglement really connects minds, then maybe the internet isn't just communication tech. It's the universe's latest way of linking us tighter, which is beautiful and also mildly terrifying. Reality's error correction. Picture the universe like a vast operating system. Every atom, every photon, every living thing, all part of a massive quantum code constantly running in the background. Now, imagine that code hits a glitch. A probability overload. Too many variables stacking at once. In classical physics, that's chaos. In quantum physics, it's instability. And when that happens, the system does what any good system would do. It corrects itself. Some physicists call this quantum decoherence, the process that forces reality to choose one stable version of itself. But what if the Mandela effect is that correction process in action? The wrong versions of history, the ones we swear we remember, could be the echoes of a timeline before the patch. It's like the universe hit refresh, stabilizing a fluctuating state. Most of us load into the corrected timeline without noticing. But a few, those tuned a little differently, still recall the pre-update build. To them, the world feels almost right, but not quite. These aren't just memory errors, they're the ghost frames between two realities, the overlap between what was and what is. Maybe the Mandela effect is the after-image of the universe repairing itself, a flicker we were never supposed to see. So the universe basically has a Control-Alt-Delete function. Great. Next time I forget my keys, I'll just blame cosmic maintenance. But really, this error correction theory is fascinating because it flips the script. It suggests that Mandela effect isn't chaos, it's order. A reality patching itself to keep things consistent. The weird part? It means we're catching the universe mid-update, like watching a painter fix a brushstroke before the paint dries. Which begs the question, who is holding the brush? And if the patch fixed something, what exactly broke in the first place? Retrocausality. Now, let's break time itself. In several quantum experiments, like the delayed choice quantum eraser, scientists discovered something unsettling. A particle's behavior in the past can be influenced by how it's observed in the future. In other words, observation doesn't just change what's happening now, it can rewrite what actually happened. That's retrocausality, the idea that cause and effect can loop backward through time. And here's where it gets eerie. What if every time we notice a Mandela effect, a collective observation forces the universe to correct the contradiction? For instance, millions of people remembering mirror, mirror on the wall could represent an older branch of reality. But the act of everyone debating it might cause the timeline to clean up the inconsistency, rewriting the past so that magic mirror was always the case. We don't just remember the past, we collapse it. If time is a quantum field, fluid and reactive, then every act of noticing reshapes the wave behind us. That would mean we're not just witnesses to Mandela effects, we're the cause. Every question, every argument, every moment of disbelief, it's all fuel for a timeline that listens. And maybe, just maybe, the more we chase the mystery, the more the mystery rewrites itself to stay ahead of us. Okay, that one messes with my brain. Retrocausality basically says we're editing history every time we notice something weird. So, congratulations, you're now a time editor. But seriously, that's kind of beautiful. It suggests the universe isn't static, it's responsive. We look at the past and it flinches. And maybe that's why Mandela effects keep evolving, because we won't stop poking at them. And if observation changes the outcome, then curiosity might literally reshape reality. Which means I'm going to start observing my bank account very intensely and see if physics gets the hint. The quantum drift. What if the Mandela effect isn't random? What if it follows patterns, ripples in consciousness, shaped by what humanity chooses to focus on? In quantum mechanics, particles respond to observation. In consciousness theory, attention works like gravity. The more we concentrate on something, the stronger its presence becomes in the shared field of awareness. So, what happens when millions of minds fixate on a single idea, a name, a logo, a phrase? It gains mass, quantum mass. It becomes a small planet in the mindscape of humanity, bending the probabilities around it. That's the quantum drift, the pull of collective attention. The universe isn't choosing sides between Berenstain and Berenstein, we are. Our focus keeps the wrong version alive. Like a data fragment, the system can't delete because too many users keep clicking it. The more energy we give a memory, the more it resists correction. Maybe that's why these anomalies persist, not as mistakes, but as test patterns of a self-aware universe checking its own reflection. In this view, every Mandela effect is a kind of feedback, reality echoing back what humanity refuses to forget. What we remember, we keep alive. And maybe the universe listens closely enough to make that literal. So basically, the more we argue online, the stronger the glitch gets. Fantastic. The internet is literally feeding the simulation. But honestly, that kind of makes sense. Ever notice how some Mandela effects vanish while others keep growing? Maybe the ones that survive do so because we won't stop talking about them. Reality's like, fine, you want your monocle back? Here, have it. It's wild to think that attention could shape the physical world, but hey, TikTok trends already do that. Maybe the universe just has better algorithms. The universal feedback loop. Here's where everything ties together. If the observer changes reality, and shared focus amplifies it, then maybe the Mandela effect isn't an error at all. Maybe it's communication. Think of the universe as a conscious field, constantly learning from its observers. Every thought, every belief, every perception feeds data back into the system. That data doesn't disappear. It evolves the algorithm of existence itself. Humanity, with its billions of interconnected minds, has become the universe's largest sensor array. We're teaching reality what it is by looking at it. The Mandela effect, then, is feedback, a soft echo between us and the cosmos, a way for the system to show us how it adapts. Each collective glitch might be the universe's subtle nod, whispering, "Yes, I heard you." It's not proof that reality is breaking, it's proof that it's alive. The loop between consciousness and creation isn't a bug, it's the operating system itself. Maybe, in the grand design, every false memory, every déjà vu, every flicker of wrongness is just the cosmos recalibrating in real time, learning to remember us as much as we remember it. The Mandela Effect isn't the system collapsing, it's the sound of the universe breathing. So, if that's true, we're basically in a cosmic group chat, and the universe is typing back. That's kind of comforting, like maybe we're not yelling into the void after all. The feedback loop idea turns the Mandela Effect from something spooky into something sort of beautiful. Instead of reality breaking, it's reality responding, which means all our weird little collective memories aren't errors, they are messages. Though personally, I prefer a text that says, "You're doing great," instead of, "Surprise, your cereal box changed timelines again." The memory of the universe. Imagine this. The world around you stills, traffic frozen, air unmoving, the faint hum of existence pausing like the universe just took a breath. In that silence, every version of you, every choice, every timeline, every tiny variation, flickers for a heartbeat. Then it all converges back into one moment, this moment. Maybe reality isn't meant to be solid. Maybe it's alive, a fluid, breathing field of possibility that bends and shifts with our attention. Because what the Mandela Effect really shows us isn't that our memories are broken, it's that the universe remembers too. Every echo of a logo, every misquoted movie line, every detail that feels off might be the after-image of a reality we briefly touched and then let go. The flicker you feel when something doesn't match your memory could be the universe whispering, "I've changed, but I kept a piece of what you remember." And if consciousness and reality truly mirror each other, then maybe these glitches aren't mistakes. They are dialogue, a conversation between observer and observed, between memory and matter. So, next time something feels wrong, a word, a colour, a world that just doesn't line up, pause. You might not be forgetting. You might just be remembering the universe remembering itself. Okay, that ending gave me the chills and I wrote it, but it's a cool way to look at the Mandela Effect, right? Not as proof we're broken, but as proof we're connected. And maybe these moments remind us that reality isn't a locked box. It's a living story that edits itself as we live it. And hey, if the universe really does remember us, I just hope it remembers where I parked. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And if so, why not check this one out on the screen now? And if you'd like to support the channel, I've just launched a Patreon site where you can get proper community chat and exclusive content, link in the description below. I've also launched YouTube memberships, where you can also get community chat and the same exclusive content that will be available on Patreon. But, and this is important, if you have an iPhone or an iPad, please don't sign up using them, as Apple adds a surcharge for in-app purchases, so it'll cost you more. Instead, use a web browser on your laptop or desktop, even if it's an Apple one, to get the correct price. If you do it by mistake, don't worry. Just cancel your subscription on your Apple device. Then wait until the subscription period is over and resubscribe using a web browser on your laptop or desktop. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and I'd really appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below the videos you would like to see next time. Okay, my friends, be safe. And until next time, stay curious.